Good evening. I'm K5TR, and it's 8 p.m. Central Time. Time for the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. We come to you on this frequency every Thursday night at this time. Is there any emergency or priority traffic on this frequency? It's been a while since I've done this, and they sent me a nice script, and it has blanks in it, and has things like your call sign and my name and a blank. So hopefully I won't say those things. I'm located this evening in between Dripping Springs and Johnson City in the Texas Hill Country, and I'm using the 147.25 repeater. If you'd like more information on the club's repeater system and how to become a member, please visit our website, n50ak.org. You can also participate in this net using the University Link system, and you can find more information about that system at ka5d.com. And we also have Echolink available for connecting to the net. You can do that at ka5d-r or k5tmt, Tango Mike Tango-r. You can also reach us via All-Star by connecting to node 51444. So I guess if you're hearing my voice but you don't know how to transmit in, those are some of the alternative ways, or if you can't hit the repeater. The Oak Hill repeaters are a 147.32 machine located in Oak Hill, and it has a tone of 114.8, so if you're listening to that, that's the tone you need. And the repeater that I'm on is 147.25. It's located about 20 feet from where I'm sitting, here about 2 miles south of Pedernales Falls State Park. And it also has a tone of 114.8. And the tone on the University Link system repeaters is 97.4 hertz. And then we also have a Discord channel, the Thursday night net Discord channel. So if you're on Discord, you can get in there. If you're not on Discord, hop over to the website and join up and get on Discord. Discord is an internet chat system. There's also usually some people in a video channel in there too, listening to the net and making faces at each other or something. Again, I'm George, Kilo 5 Tango Radio, and I'll be your net controller for this evening. This is a controlled net. Stations should refrain from transmitting until I tell you it's okay. If you're a new ham or just new to the net, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net is a social net. We get together every week to share knowledge, ask questions, hang out, see what's going on. It's very easy to check into that. You just, in a bit, I'll ask for check-ins, and we'll take down a list of stations. And if you wish to participate and have something to say, we'll do that. If you don't, you can say that you have no traffic, and I'll note that, and we won't put you on the spot to tell us what you've been up to or to share anything. Feel free to ask any questions about ham radio or something you're doing, or if you have a problem or you don't know how to do something in ham radio, somebody on here probably can help you. And if you don't have any issues like that, still check in and let us know what's going on. If you missed the first round of check-ins, there'll be many more. Should go for a while. Please avoid topics of politics, religion, or anything else that might upset people. And please keep it clean, nice, and appropriate. We have some young ham members and families and everybody else, so be considerate. And again, this is K5TR in the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system N50AK and friendly repeater systems as well. All right, at this time I'm going to take short time check-ins. Short time check-ins means operators that can't stay here for the whole net. So if you're driving home or leaving the store or going to the post office like I often am, but you want to check in and you don't have much time, we'll take you now so that you don't have to wait around for the formal check-in part. And so, let's see here. I'm going to take short time check-ins, and please come with your call sign and your name, and if you want to tell me where you're located, that's fine as well, and we'll see what's going on. So short time check-ins, go ahead.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Ken in South Austin, no traffic.
This is Kilo Alpha 5 Delta, Kyle, Central Austin, no traffic.
Hey, this is K5WET, North Austin, no traffic.
W5WTH, Austin, Pat.
This is Kilo India 5 Zulu India Echo John, North Austin, no traffic.
This is KB5MPJ, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike Papa Juliet, Jason and Buda.
Okay, very good. Let's see, I have KI6HQT Ken. Did you say no traffic? I got distracted trying to correct something here since you were the first check-in.
Yes, I did say that, no traffic, K6HQT, back to the net.
Very good. And we had KA5D with no traffic. Kyle, good to hear you. And then the next station was a little bit weak for the radio audio that I had at the time. And I didn't get your call sign. K5 Whiskey Echo Bravo or some variation of that. What is your call sign?
Yeah, this is Kilo 5, Whiskey Echo Tango.
And what is your name?
Yeah, my name's William, and I'm in North Austin.
Okay, William, very good. Your audio is a little bit light. Thanks for checking in. And that brings us to W5WTH. Pat, good evening. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks, George. I'm on Echolink, so that's Tom Cook coming in. And thanks for the QSO on 80 meters CW tonight. Your sounds really cool. It was great fun. I appreciate you checking in. Back to net.
Very good, Pat. Good to hear you, and good to hear you on 80 meters this evening. So Pat's referring to something that I didn't mention yet, which is that we have before this net for 30 minutes, starting at 7:30. Pat is more or less the ringleader, although there's a couple other people that take up the slack when he's not around. We have an 80-meter CW net. It meets on 3532, 3.532 megahertz on CW, and we welcome anybody. We welcome people with code readers. We welcome people that pretty much if you can send your call sign on that frequency and check in, we're good with that. Any skill level will slow down as slow as you want to go. And that happens at 7:30 on CW. And as a reminder, even if you're a technician class operator, you can operate on that frequency using CW. So you don't have to be a general class license to get on the HF bands if you do it on CW on 80 meters. Of course, you can do 10 meters, but on 80 meters and 40 and some other bands, you can get on there and mix it up with everybody on CW. So we hope you join us on that net. Then I had KI5 Zulu Italy Echo John with no traffic, and that brings us to KB5MPJ, Jason and Buda. Go ahead. How are you doing this evening?
Pretty good, George. Yeah, I actually did the CW net too, but I think I got on a little bit later and missed you. I did have a QSO with Ernesto on there, and so that's always fun. Let's see. Also been messing around with an in-fed antenna quite a bit. I used that for the CW net tonight. Looks like it worked pretty well. I'm also messing with an old tube radio, an amp, and it's working, but it seems like sometimes when I adjust the plate current control, it's a little scratchy or jittery, and I have to kind of fiddle with it to get it to put out power, but it is working, so now I just got to figure out what's going on with that. That's kind of what I've been up to, KB5MPJ.
Very good. I'm sorry I missed you. I left the net early. I really wanted to work in Ernesto because I haven't talked to him on CW yet. I did have a little QSO with Pat, and I fired up my tube type radio. I used my Drake C line this evening. I was about an hour before the net. I was kind of looking around here trying to clean up some things, and I looked at the radio that's sitting there, and I was like, I should use this radio, and I should check it in the net tonight. So that's what I did. And the dust is burning off the tubes over there in that radio, or in those radios. It's a transmitter and receiver. So anyway, well, maybe you have, if it's when you turn the play control, maybe that capacitor just has got some dirty contacts on the wipers or whatever. Needs to be cleaned up would be my guess, unless it's, some other issue like there's something actually loose. Well, very good. Thanks for checking in, Jason. All right, I'm going to stand by one more time. Any more short time check-ins, people that don't have a lot of time this evening, please come with your call sign and your name. All right, very good. Well, looking at the script I have here, so I can keep remember what I'm supposed to do next. That's it for sharp time check-ins. We're going to move on, and before we get to regular check-ins, I think we're going to do some questions here from the FCC Current General Exam Pool. So, if you're studying for general test, here's a couple of sample questions, and I don't know who's doing that. Is there somebody that's actually doing that, or do I have to do that?
We have Rick. AI5JT has signed up to do news and questions. So, Rick, if you're out there, it's question time. AI5JT is WZ5BBS. Thanks for running the net, George.
AI5JT, this is Rick, and I have a couple of devious general class questions for everybody. For these two questions, I'm going to ask the question, give the choices, and then give folks with a technician class license a first crack at the answer, and then open it up for everybody else. First question is, what determines the amount of deviation of an FM signal? A, both frequency and amplitude of the modulating signal. B, the frequency of the modulating signal. C, the amplitude of the modulating signal. Or D, the relative phase of the modulating signal and the carrier. So, anyone technician class, please come with your call sign and your choice A, B, C, or D.
KI5YLS. Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I honestly didn't hear the question, but I don't want you to get no answers, so I'm gonna go with C, Charlie.
Awesome. Anybody else, technician class, please come with your call sign and your choice, A, B, C, or D. All right, nothing heard. I'm going to open it up. Anyone, technician class or above, please come with your call sign and your choice of answer, A, B, C, or D.
BBS, put me down for Bravo, please, sir.
KI5PZN just walked into the room, so I'm gonna go with Charlie.
All right, any other takers for a swipe at this question? I'll repeat the question. What determines the amount of deviation of an FM signal? And it was both frequency and amplitude for A. B, frequency of the modulating signal. C, amplitude of the modulating signal. And D, relative phase of the modulating signal and carrier. Okay, nothing heard. All right, so the correct answer was C. We're going to move on to the next question. What happens when the deviation of an FM transmitter is increased? A, its signal occupies more bandwidth. B, its power output power increases. C, its output power and bandwidth increases. And D, asymmetric modulation occurs. If you're a technician class license, please come with your call sign and your choice A, B, C, or D. And if anyone's having trouble hearing me, let me know, and I'll repeat the question.
KI5YLS. I'm going to go with C. Got it right the first time, going 2 for 2.
Okay, anyone else, technician class license, please come with your call sign and your choice A, B, C, or D. Nothing heard. So anyone, technician class or above, please come with your best answer, call sign, and A, B, C, or D.
BBS, put me down for Alpha.
KI5PZN, Charlie.
Okay, I think that's it for tonight. The correct answer was A. And I think Rusty and Ernesto were playing tag team on who gives the correct answer and the wrong answer on that one. That's all the questions I got for tonight. So this is back to net. Thanks, everybody. AI5JT.
All right, Rick, very good. Well, thanks a lot. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net on the N50AK repeater system. My call sign is Kilo 5 Tango Radio. My name is George. And we're in the middle of the net. We're going to take some check-ins in a little bit, but I believe that Rick, AI5JT, is up with the news, right?
I am. Are we up to news next now?
We are.
Awesome. Okay, I got a handful of articles here. First one is vacuum tube making on the comeback in the U.S. Then there's 3 hams chosen for Artemis moon mission. And on top of the world in her first year of soda. And I'm not going to describe this one, but if you want to go on and look, I think this is, some folks will find this interesting. There's an autism awareness event that goes global. That's another news story that's out there. So back to the top of the list. American-made vacuum tubes are poised to make a comeback onto the market this summer. The rising cost of tubes manufactured mostly in China and Russia cramps audiophiles, musicians, and others seeking a particular audio quality. One factory in the southeast U.S. is preparing to bring tube manufacturing back home, with assembly line workers getting down to business inside his Western Electric plant in Rossville, Georgia. Entrepreneur Charles Whitener expects to restore American-made vacuum tubes to the worldwide market in just a few months. According to reports on websites such as Wired and AudioExpress.com, Whitener's goal is to resume production of the single-ended trio tube known as the 300B, a design that dates back to 1938. His plant, known as Rossville Works, is home to the Western Electric vacuum tube brand, which Whitener bought in 1995 from AT&T. This summer, he expects to introduce a reimagined version of the vacuum tube known as the 12AX7, a dual triode tube commonly found in amplifiers for guitars. According to Wired.com, it will be the first U.S.-made tube in decades and is expected to be other tube U.S.-made models. In other news, we've got 4 astronauts that are going up for a flyby to the moon on the Artemis moon mission. 3 of those 4 astronauts are licensed hams. We've got Commander Reed Wiseman, KF5LKT, Pilot Victor Glover, KI5BKC, and Mission Specialist Jeremy Hansen, KF5LKU. The other crew member is Christina Hammock-Cock. So that'll be if we can maybe get some contacts while they're up there going to the moon and back. Last story. This is about 11-year-old Sophie, Sierra November 9Z Juliet, considered Poland's youngest soda operator. She activated 7 summits during her first year as a ham, with her father Pavel beside her for 5 of those trips and her mother Anna helping her log contacts during the other 2. The mom Anna is an avid hiker, helped Sophie study for her license, and may herself take the exam at some point. All right, there's a bunch of other stuff out there, but that's all I've got for everybody for tonight. AI5JT, and back to net. Thank you.
very good, Rick. Thank you. AI5JT, K5TR. Thanks for doing those. And if you're just dialing into the frequency here, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. I'm George, K5 Tango Radio, your net control for this evening. And we're in the middle of the net. We're working our way through some news and things, and now we're going to move on to Rusty, WZ5BBS Club President and Trivia Master and other things. He's going to tell us about Fox News, and that's Fox Hunting News, and the Trivia Net, and probably other things. So WZ5BBS, take it away.
Thank you, George. Howdy, everybody on the net. Yeah, we had 2 fox hunts last weekend. We also had a great brunch down in Kyle. So thanks to everybody that came out to that. The fox hunt was fun. Jeffrey hid Phillips fox, and then Sky put out a Sky fox in South Austin, so we had 2 to go find. Doing this a little over a year and a half, I think, and we've done a lot of fox hunts. And this is the first time we've ever been vandalized or robbed. Somebody stole Phillips fox. So that's a total bummer. Sky was the first one to find it, and Ernesto and I found it as well. I don't know who else found it after that, but it then went missing. So luckily for us, we have a cool club. The club has agreed to replace Phillips' transmitter and his antenna. Jeffrey is replacing the battery, and everybody's chipping in pieces and parts to help rebuild the Fox. So Philip will have a Fox here shortly again, and he can start playing Fox again. As far as the Sky Fox goes, I was the first one to find it. And then Ernesto and Enrique found it, KI5PZN. KI5MVF found it as well on Sunday, as well as N5UMT. And I think you found it too, George. It was a fun one over there by Specs in this crazy little trail. He knows all kinds of fun places to go hide these things. So that is our update on the Fox News. I don't know if we have anything going on this weekend or not, but keep lookout in the Fox Hunt channel because they tend to pop up pretty quickly on about a Friday. So check them out and see. As far as the Friday Night Trivia Net, for those of you who are new, we've got the Friday Night Trivia Net every Friday at 9 p.m. We had 33 people last week. Last week's winner was Rob, K9LZY, came in with 1,273 points. We got Jason, KB5MPJ, coming in number 2, and Scott, KI5OBD, coming in number 3. It was also Okies versus Roadies week, and man, the Okies won again. We haven't let the Roadies win one single game. 6-0. Way to go, y'all. And the elimination round, we had a tie. Rob, K9LZY, and Tony, KJ5AGH, making it all the way to level 2 on the elimination round. So congratulations to Rob and Tony. Player rankings, Alan, KB5VKP, is in the number 1 spot, followed by Jared, N5AFC, and Aaron, KI5HP. Those are your top 3 for the Friday Night Trivia Net. Anybody can play. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer. The bingo starts at 8:30, so you have something to do while you're waiting to hang out for the net to begin. You can check out player rankings, stats, net logs, anything you want to know about the Friday Night Trivia Net on the website, n5oak.org. Just click on the Trivia Net tab, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. As far as official club business goes, we have 5 new members since our net last Thursday. So we got some new people to say hi to. Elliot, KI5YER, he's from the A&M Club. Randy, KJ5AFM, his dad is over in the Crossroads Club. They come play with us on Friday. Paul, K5NEN, Tom, KI5SWA, he was sent to us by KC3NAG, so thank you, Randy, if you're out there working and lurking. And Mark, KJ5ACN. So there you have our 5 newest members, brings us up to 525 members. And like I said, we had a great club brunch at the Texas Pie Factory in Kyle, Texas. Thanks to Scott, KI5OVD, for setting that up. We had 15 people show up and had great conversation and ate way too much, and then went and fox hunt the rest of the afternoon. So it was a fun Saturday. So thanks to everybody for making that happen and showing up for breakfast. I had a blast, and we got some stuff coming up in Johnson City too. So stay tuned. We have Oak Gear online. You can go buy t-shirts and hats and cups and all that kinds of fun stuff with club logo. Just go to n5oak.org and click on the N5OAK Gear tab. Our next meeting is April 22nd. It's the end of this month at the Hawson branch of the Austin Public Library. You can check out the website or the meeting channel on Discord for all the details. George, K5TR, is coming to chat with us about contesting and anything and everything you want to talk to George about. So come hang out with George and all the folks at the meeting. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We also have our first ever testing session. I was talking to Philip and Ernesto today about it. It looks like we've got 6 people signed up so far. So look at us go. I'm very proud of the VE team and all the work Philip has done to pull this off. So after the meeting will be our very first testing session. We still have some open spots. So if you want to come test or get upgraded, whatever it is you need to do, go get online and register online and make sure you pay Philip, because that's the only way that we can guarantee your spot. If we need to make more spots, we can totally do that. But so far we got 6, so I'm super stoked. And of course, the easiest way to stay up to date with all these new things that are coming around is to go subscribe to the official club calendar. You can head over to n5oak.org and click on the calendar tab to make that happen. We also have a Parks on the Air event coming up in the first weekend of May. So lots of fun stuff going on in the club, lots of reasons to go play radio, and I'm looking forward to going and hanging out. So we'll turn it back over to George, K5TRWZ5BBS, back to net control.
All right, very good. Thank you, Rusty. WZ5, the Whitewire BBS. Thanks for all that information. I'm going to do a little announcing here, I think, just because I was just looking. So there's a wonderful website, the WA7BNM contest calendar. It lists all kinds of events. In fact, there's so many on here, it's just nuts. There's all kinds of weekly events of various types on here. Some of them aren't really contests, but anyway, if you're looking for something to do on the HF bands this weekend, there is actually a lot of activity potentially on the bands. There's the Holy Land DX contest, which is mainly stations in Israel. May or may not have success with that, I don't know, but you can certainly listen around. And of course, with 10 meters open, you know, as a novice or as a technician licensee, there's all kinds of chances of working stuff. There's a Chinese contest, the Worked All Provinces of China DX contest this weekend on the HF bands. I don't know. China's a difficult pass from here, but you know, they are workable. There's a Yugoslavian DX contest. I think that's maybe the World Works the World. There's a Dutch digital contest this weekend. So if you're into Digimodes, it looks like there's a contest for that. There's a CQMM DX contest, which I believe is organized by some South Americans. I can't remember if it's LUs or Argentinians or somebody, Chileans, I can't remember. Anyway, that's a worldwide DX type contest. And then there's a couple of stateside things going on. the Nebraska QSO party. So these are great ways if you need Nebraska as a state, like on sideband for worked off states or something, and maybe on CW. The Nebraska QSO party is this weekend. The Michigan QSO party is this weekend. The Ontario QSO party in Canada is this weekend, and the North Dakota QSO party. So if you need North Dakota, which is usually a hard state, that's going on. If you're into Field Hell, which is a digital mode, there's a short contest called the Field Hell Sprint going on, and there's also a Spanish QRP CW contest. And then last but not least, there's the ARRL has a contest that they started about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, called the Rookie Roundup. They have it on Teletype CW, and this weekend on Sunday afternoon, it's a sideband version of the Rookie Roundup, and it's really aimed at people that have been licensed, I think, 3 years or less. Anyway, you might check those out. If you go to contestcalendar.com, you can click through to any of these things and read rules, or go to the websites for each of these contests. See what the exchange is, and when it starts and when it ends. Like a lot of the QSO parties, they have activity on Saturday until it gets dark, and then they have activity on Sunday and stuff like that. And then there's one thing I didn't mention. It's not really a contest, I don't think. And about 10 years ago, I actually made some contacts in it from a state park. The Texas State Parks on the Air is this weekend, and that's kind of a fun deal, and I guess you can combine your POTO with working Texas State Parks, so there'll probably be more state parks on the air this weekend potentially than normal. So that's kind of what's going on. If you've got an HF radio, there's lots of activity out there, so get on and use those privileges, especially with the sunspots the way they are. I will say for the Texas State Parks on the Air that doing 40 meters in the daytime, there was a fair amount of activity when I did it a number of years ago. So don't neglect 40 meters during the day, because that's your best chance for working around the state. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net here on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater in 50AK, and also the KA5D University Link System and other joined repeaters. You can learn about our club at n5oak.org, right? And what else? We have a Discord channel if you want to join us on Discord. Lots of great place to keep up with the club members when you're at work or supposed to be at work or whatever. Anyway, we're going to move on to regular check-ins here shortly, or probably in a minute or so. And let's see here. I'm K5TR. I'm George. I'm your net control for this evening's net. Any licensed amateurs, welcome to check in. You don't have to be a member to check into this net. We're just here hanging out, swapping stories, and using the radio. I've been trying to think of some topic starter or something. There've been a few good ones. Ernesto likes to do that, but I'm not coming up with anything too good. So I don't know. You can tell us what you got planned. I'm currently trying to get going here on some antenna projects. I need to with the ice storm damaged a lot of antennas here and bent some elements, and so I ordered a pile of aluminum, and I need to start building a bunch of 20-meter. Mainly, I'm going to start with 20-meter elements. Those are the ones that most of the antennas that got damaged were 20-meter antennas. So I got to start cutting aluminum and making elements. So that's my big antenna project for the coming weekend. I'm going to start doing some of that. Hopefully this weekend. That's my plan, at least, is to start getting out there and cutting tubing and build some elements so that when I take the antennas down, I can make short order of just replacing the elements and getting them back up in the air. So anyway, I guess that's maybe you could tell us about what you have spring antenna projects you have going, or whatever else you want to talk about this evening. It's anything and everything. So with that, K5TR on the N5OAK repeater, and I'm going to stand by for regular check-ins. Give me your call sign and your name, and you can tell me if you have traffic or no traffic, and we'll move on from there. So, check-ins, please come along.
This is November 5 Lima X-Ray. This is Sky in Oak Hill.
This is Kilo India 5
Papa Zulu November, Ernesto in East Austin.
Dripping Springs.
This is November 5 Sierra Mike Oscar, Bill, North Austin, with traffic.
This Kilo India 5 Papa Zulu November, Ernesto in East Austin.
This is Kilo India 5 Zulu Tango Whiskey, Blake out in Spicewood.
This is
Kilo India 5 Yankee Lima Sierra Cody in Fort Hood.
This is Alpha Charlie 5 Golf Philip.
Very good. I had N5 Lima X-Ray Sky, and then there were two stations that doubled with each other. One of them, one or maybe the only one I copied. One thing I heard was KI5 Alpha something, and the other thing I heard was Dripping Springs. So let's see if we can sort you guys out. Let's start with the Kilo Italy 5 Alpha and see if I've got any part of that right. Hey, how about the Dripping Springs person? Oh, I seem to be striking out there. So, when I don't call on you, you'll know that you didn't make it. And then I got N5 SMO, KI5PZN, KI5ZIW, KI5YLS, and I think AC5G, I believe. Although I wasn't hearing your audio so great. So let's go back to the top. N5LX. Good evening, Sky. How are you doing this evening?
This is N5LX. I'm doing good. Hi to everybody out there. Not a lot of stuff going on, but excuse me, having a good day. I just wanted to say real quick, Rusty missed it because they signed the wrong page, but K5TR George and W5DB Sarah both found the Skyfox this last weekend. Somehow they managed to sign the wrong page, but that's okay. I have have photos and everything from the old and logbook, so I can tell. But anyway, everybody did a really great job, and hopefully everybody had fun. The weather was good, maybe a little bit muddy. Anyway, one of the things I did today, reset. Had a tickle in my throat. I went to Mount Larson today to listen for our rogue signal, that was showing up on 147.32. I took a spectrum analyzer up there, and I spent quite a bit of time looking at it. One of the figures definitively is that it's definitely an intermod product that we've been hearing. That's a result of two signals that when they transmit simultaneously, an intermod product of 147.325, and the two signals in question, we already knew one of them because you can hear the FM voice. It's one of the AFD simulcasts. It's 154.965 reset. And the other is 151.145, and if you want, you can put it into the calculator. But those two, when they coincide, when they just happen to be transmitting at the same time, then you'll hear the AFD modulated voice signal on 147.325. So I've at least determined that it is in fact an intermod product. What I haven't figured out is the source of it, and there's some more stuff that I can do to kind of narrow it down. And the next time I go out there, I'll bring some more tools and a couple of test things with me, and also shoot some video. I shot some video today, but it's not something that I think I'll share. I think I'll wait until I can get a better one. But anyway, that's what I've been on and other fun stuff. But that's about it for now. Back to net, and hi to everybody. I hope you're going to have a great weekend coming up. This is N5LX.
All right, very good, Sky. Yes, so my girlfriend and I found both foxes, actually. Her call sign is Whiskey 5 Delta Mike Bravo. And I think we could have gotten in, within 100 feet of your fox without ever having a radio. You gave so many clues away. It was like we knew where to go. But it was still fun. And very good on the IMD stuff. Yeah, it would be interesting to know where that real mixing is happening, because it seems like those signals aren't new, so maybe something is causing them to mix in a way that's much stronger. That it's hooked up to an antenna and it's not just in the air. So that's interesting. Anyway, does anybody else have anything for N5LX?
CI5JT.
I didn't quite get that. JC, go ahead.
This is AI5JT, Rick. Question for Sky. How close are those two transmitters to each other that are getting the intermod?
Yeah, good question. This is N5LX. They're on the same tower, and they're probably in the same Radio Shack. At least, according to the licenses, which I looked up on the FCC database, they have the exact same geo-coordinates. And there's only one tower that's being used for that stuff out there. One of them is a commercial broadcast tower. The other one is for the Travis County trunked system, and that would be the tower that all that stuff is on. There's another thing I didn't mention. There's a lot of different places where you can get nonlinear that produces intermod products, and one of them is one possibility, which is kind of weird, but you can get intermod products in your receiver, and you can get ghost, or what they call phantom signals. It's usually the signal's really strong, and it's sometimes overloading your front end, but it can also be, even if it's not overloading your front end, if you have a very wide front end on your radio, it can also happen in the front end. It can mix in the first amplifier stage, or sometimes even the first IF stage. That's a possibility. I mean, it would be kind of weird because everybody's picking up the same thing. But when I was out there today, I did see the intermod product on the spectrum analyzer, and I had the preamp on. I was only using a rubber duck antenna. So that's what made me think of the possibility of it being a phantom signal. The next time I go out there, I'm going to use an external antenna. I forgot my adapter today. Reset. Also, I'll take a stepped attenuator with me, and I have a bandpass filter I can try to put on my receiver and see if it goes away. But anyway, one step at a time, just gather some more data, and hopefully we'll figure it out.
Very fine. Anybody else have anything for Sky?
BBS?
You said Vibe BBS. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sky, I was just wondering if you were coming to Belton this year, or if that is too early for you.
If I'm not mistaken, that's this Saturday. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it because I've already committed to picking up a friend of mine at the airport, one of my buddies. and that's kind of a priority. But kind of fill me in on the time. Maybe I can make it. I don't know.
So you are correct. Belton is this Saturday, and it'll start at like 5 a.m. and by 10 o'clock it'll be done. So depending on when your buddy gets in, but yeah, Saturday a.m. Belton should be fun. Ernesto and I are going to try to make it as well. We have a whole group. Go look over in the Hamfest channel. That's where they're chatting about it.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the heads up, man. This is N5LX, back to net control.
All right, very good. This is K5TR. Anybody else have anything for N5LX? Sky, thanks for checking in, and thanks for checking out the Intermod, and looking forward to more reports on that. I haven't been listening a whole lot, and I certainly haven't been in town, so I haven't heard it, but that's a very interesting problem. All right, that brings us to Bill, N5SMO. This is K5TR. Go ahead.
Hey, George. Thanks for running the net. Good to hear you on. And nothing really radio going on for me, just trying to play around on 10 meters, and I think it was last week, managed to get New Caledonia on 10 meters on FTA. I've gotten them on other bands, but never up that high, so that was pretty good. But most of the last 4 or 5 days have been out at the hunting lease, just doing some work out there and talking to the turkeys, playing with turkey calls, seeing if I could get a bird to come in, and had them come close where you could tell they're moving closer to you, calling back, but didn't actually get to see anything, didn't lay eyes on anything. But it was still a lot of fun, and nothing like sleeping with the windows open and the frogs and the crickets going at it to get a good night's sleep. So that's it for me. So back to K5TR, George, and the group on the N5OAK from N5SMO.
All right, Bill, very good. Well, glad to hear you picked up New Caledonia there on digital modes. There's at least 1 or 2 guys that are active from there. I seem to work that place fairly regularly, even in contests these days. There's one guy that's pretty active out there, which is nice. Anybody else out there have anything for Bill in 5SMO? Bill, thanks for checking in. Good to hear you on the radio here in 5SMO. This is K5TR. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net here on the N5OAK system, also the University Link system, and all kinds of other places. You can check us out on the web at n5oak.org and get all the particulars about tones and frequencies that are possible for checking in, and also to join our Discord or join the club. And again, you don't have to be a member to check in this evening. But we're going to move on to Ernesto. KI5PZN. Sorry I didn't work you on 80 meters, but you roped me into doing this net, and I had to, hook up radios and things. How are you doing this evening, Ernesto?
This is KI5PZN. Hey, George, thank you for running the net tonight, man. Yeah, I got into the CW net a little bit late, so you were already gone. I guess you were already, getting ready for the net, so sorry I missed you there. Well, if anything, I would have given you a headache, because I'm hard to copy, I'm sure. But, that's also for you guys listening out there. I'm a newbie. I don't know a whole lot of CW yet, but I jump in there and do my thing, so it's something to keep in mind. If you're interested, that's a good net to jump in. The guys are really patient and don't kick you out, so it's fun. It's been a lot of fun. Let it reset for a second. Well, nothing too crazy. I've been working like a crazy maniac for a while, but I got to go out on Saturday to the brunch, and it was really nice seeing you guys out there. We also went out for fox hunting. Found the two foxes with Rusty and Enrique, my son, was with us. And looking forward to hopefully can make it on Saturday to Belton, because I'm looking forward to go there. Are you planning on going, George? Back to you.
Well, it sounds like you've been keeping busy, and I'm glad to hear you're playing around in the CW stuff. I am not going to be making it to Belton, I'm pretty sure. Got all kinds of other stuff going on, but no pressing reason to go there at the moment, other than, if I had my act together, I'd load up the car and take a bunch of stuff up there and try to give it away. But maybe I can give some of it away at the meeting. I need to go back to filling up this box over here with things. Anyway, well, very good. Anybody else have anything for Ernesto?
And 5SMO.
SMO, go ahead.
Hey, Ernesto, I'm just wondering if there's anything in particular that you're looking for up there at Belton. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Hey, Bill, I don't know. I think I'm one of those guys. I'll probably end up with something just because I'm going to be there, but no, it's nothing. Just going out there to see what we can find that it's cheap and interesting. If anything, I think last time I walked out over there with like a little L-shape connector, and that was it. I think I spent like $2 aside from the entrance for the $5 to get in. Not a big buyer, but thank you for asking, man. I appreciate it. Back to you.
Yeah, I hear you, but that place, it seems like you always do the best to come out with something fantastic. When you have like no expectations going in, you get surprised. So have fun, and hopefully I'll see you out there in 5SMO.
Awesome, man. What do you have anything that you're looking for too? Just in case, I guess I could ping you if I see it.
No, nothing in particular this time that I can think of. I need to kind of go through here and look at my collection of adapters and just maybe see if I'm missing something there to connect all the various antennas and cables and stuff together. But off the top of my head, I'm just kind of going to have fun and look around.
Awesome, man. Yeah, same here. The adapter table is just an interesting one. Well, awesome, man. Good talking to you, and hopefully we'll see you there as well. Back to net. This is KFI PZN.
Very good. Anybody else have anything for KI5PZN? Good to hear you this evening, Ernesto. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, I was thinking, if I go to Belton, it's like I don't need anything, pretty much. I mean, you never know. Like, there could be that one thing that, oh yeah, I do need that, or yeah, I could use that, but pretty much I don't. And then there's a lot of things that I'd see and I'd go, I want to buy that. And it's like, I don't need it. Already got enough stuff. Anyway, the things I need are kind of specialized, although sometimes they do show up in those places. Anyway, good to hear you this evening, Ernesto. And let's see, that moves us on to, and I covered up my thing here, moves us on to Blake, I believe, KI5ZIW. Go ahead.
It's Blake, KI5ZTW. Good evening, everybody. And really no traffic, but as far as I am working on a new HF antenna this spring, and I've got my Vibraplex 40-foot pole. I've got basically everything now except the feed line. I'm going to get that ordered, but I'm using a G5RV dipole, and hopefully it'll be an improvement over my. I've been running a Chameleon 6.0 impasse vertical, and been doing quite well. Actually made contact in Auckland, New Zealand yesterday at about 16-30 hours, and they got me on a 5.5 with that, which was pretty cool and exciting for a new hammer on 10 meters.
Great, Blake, very good. KI5ZTW. Great, very good. Well, I'm sure getting a little bit larger antenna up higher should hopefully improve things, or at least give you a choice. I'm a fan of you can't really have too many antennas to choose from because they all work a little differently at any given moment. So sometimes having choices is a good thing, and certainly anything that's more full size or is full size tends to work better than something that's short and loaded or low to the ground. So hope that all works out. Anybody have anything for Blake? All right, Blake, good to hear you. Thanks for checking in. And that brings us to Cody, KI5YLS. How are you doing this evening? Well, KI5YLS, are you there? Maybe we'll come back here. And let's see, I think we had Philip. AC5G. This is K5TR with the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Net. How are you doing this evening?
Doing good, George. Thanks for jumping in last minute and bailing us out and running this net. Is my audio coming in clear now?
That's doing fine.
Thanks for that. Not too much going on. Just wanted to give a thank you to everyone who actually has donated and helped out with replacing the Fox that got stolen. That means a lot, and going to definitely be getting one up and running for the club here again very soon. So thanks to everyone who chipped in and helped out with that. Looking forward to the VE session, our first one for the team, happening right after the meeting next week. So that should be fun. And that's about it for radio news. AC5G, back to net.
All right, very good. Well, the interesting thing about I know that you didn't put it there, but the interesting thing about that Fox was that, it wasn't running a huge antenna. I don't think it's even a full quarter wave, if I'm not mistaken. But one of the things I commented on while we were hunting it for it is that it seemed to have a really good signal. We heard that thing further away than some of the other ones. And that location doesn't look particularly great. I was sitting on the ground, and there's a little bit of a rise there, but it didn't look like a spectacular location. But I was surprised how far away we could hear it, because we kind of drove around out west of it, and it was like it had a good signal all over the place out there. It was very interesting. I don't know if other people experienced that, but I was a little surprised, like, oh, this thing's got a good signal all over the place. Anyway, anybody else have anything for AC5G? All right, well, hear anything? You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday night net. Internet Control George, Kilo 5 Tango Radio. And I'm located in between Dripping Springs and Johnson City, about 2 miles south of Pedernales Falls State Park, here about 20 feet away from the 147.25 repeater that I'm coming in on. And we're also hopefully coming out on the 147.32 repeater in Oak Hill, and the KA5D University Link repeater system on all kinds of different frequencies and places in the University of Texas area, and then a bunch of other repeater systems around, some of them even out of the state often. But anyway, you don't have to be a member to check into our net, and we're in the middle of regular check-ins at the moment. And and I'm going to stand by again because I know I missed at least one other person at one point in there. So give me your call sign and your name, and let me know if you have any traffic or not, and we'll get you checked in here to the net. So I'm going to stand by for check-ins. Please come now.
This is KI5 OBD, Scott and Kyle. Traffic.
Got KI5 OBD, and then I heard a syllable from something.
Oh, I just said traffic.
Is there anybody else wants a regular check-in to the net, to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net? Please come now with your call sign and your name.
This is Kilo India 5, Romeo Bravo Tango, Kent, into Pflugerville.
This is W5LUL, Holly and Buda.
This is WZ5BBS, Rusty, Northwest Austin.
This is KI5NLK, Anderson and Manchac.
This is Kilo Charlie 3, November Alpha Golf, Randy, Andersonville, coming in on the flagship, 320.
All right, very good. So a few people. Anybody else want to jump in here before we take it to the top of the list here? Anybody? Any other regular check-ins for the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net?
This is Kilo 5 Juliet Mike, K5JM. Hey George, I'm just going to do short time. Thanks for taking my check.
All right, we're good. You can't be short time now. Sorry. Let's see here. Let's go back to the top. Scott, KI5OBD. You may have said no traffic. Maybe that was what that was about. How are you doing this evening?
Howdy, George. Howdy, everybody on the net. You said tell me if you have traffic or not, and I forgot, so I jumped back in and said traffic and probably quick keyed it. So. Never mind. I just want to say thanks to everybody that came out to brunch at the Pie Shop down at Kyle last weekend. That was a great time. Went really well. We had 14 people show up besides me. So thanks everybody. I was real happy about that. We'll do it again soon. And afterwards, it was a surprise to me that Jeffrey was hiding a fox out here. So I got to participate in my first fox hunt last weekend. All I got was mud on my shoes, but turns out I was headed in the right direction. I was still several hundred yards away, but the signal was really strong, so I kept walking along this creek, and it started getting real muddy. So I turned around and came home. But that was a lot of fun. So yeah, looking forward to another fox hunt that I can participate in that's not in Austin. Also, let me let it drop. Also, looking forward to the club meeting next weekend, or the weekend after next at the library, Saturday the 22nd. Looking forward to your talk, George. And also looking forward to taking the extra test so I can stop studying. I've gotten in the habit of studying every morning is almost as soon as I get up. I spend 15 minutes reading through questions and then I take a practice test. And that's working really well. So I'm ready, and I'm ready to stop studying. I'm afraid to stop before the test, lest I forget something. So, that's it from Kyle, KI5 OBD, back to net.
All right, KI5 OBD, K5TR, very good, Scott. Well, glad to hear that you got to do some transmitter hunting, and it was a little muddy out there. Although I guess the only place I encountered mud was on the N5LX Fox, and it wasn't too bad because I guess we went in the short way to it. I'm sure that we could have come in the other way and somehow and would have been worse, but we came in, it wasn't very far down the muddy trail. Anyway, very fine on everything there. Anybody have anything for Scott?
N5LX.
N5LX, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say good luck on your test. I think we all know you're going to pass, but that's keep studying and good luck. It's going to be awesome, man. Have fun with it too.
Thanks, Guy. I'm just looking forward to when it's over with. KI5 OBD.
Yeah, well, not only do you not have to study anymore, or take any more tests, but then you also don't have to, you get like all the frequencies, which is also nice. You just have to worry about the band edges at that point. Anybody else have anything for Scott? All right, Scott, thanks for checking in. Good to hear from you this evening. All right, I'm going to pick up Cody, KI5YLS. How are you doing this evening?
Hey guys, how's it going? It is KI5YLS Cody from Fort Hood. Well, I would love to say that my week has been good, but Monday was alright. It was a normal day. But then starting Tuesday all the way up till today, and probably tomorrow, I have been stuck with the allergies and sinuses. The bug has got me, and it's probably the worst one I've had yet. I feel like I'm just suffocating and drowning, and I feel miserable, basically. But hopefully I can get over it and try to come out to Belt County, or the Belton Expo, Hamfest, because I'd like to come. That'd be cool. It's been a while since I've been to one. But other than that, not a whole lot going on. Back to net.
All right, Cody, very good. Well, I hope you feel better. Belton's good since you're not that far away. Even better. And anybody else have anything? Anybody have anything for Cody? All right, thanks for checking in, Cody, and hope you feel better. KI5YLS and then at K5TR, and that moves us on to Kent, KI5RBT. How are you doing this evening?
This is KI5RBT. I'm doing really pretty good. Glad the week's almost over. And I am also studying for my test. I'm taking the general on the whatever day it is. I have a tidbite thing on my on top of my monitor that displays countdowns, and I've got 8 days according to it. So I've been studying every night and listening to an audiobook and reading. Just been a lot of packing information into my brain. That, and I've been working on my I worked on my Fox a little bit yesterday. Let me let it drop. And additionally, I found out that I could hear it up to about 100 feet away on my mobile in my truck. So I'm working on it. John November 5 Charlie Foxtrot Bravo told me about adding a 19-inch tiger tail to the antenna, so I'm going to give that a shot and see if that helps. I'll probably do that sometime tomorrow after my meetings, but I plan on planting a fox somewhere north as I live up in Pflugerville, so hopefully it'll be something for we northeast to go chase down. KI5 RBT back to net.
Good, Kent, and looking forward to you getting your general there and getting more of the HF bands, and following your Fox activities on the Discord this week. Anybody have anything for Kent?
KI5YLS.
YLS, go ahead.
Sorry, I had to run back in real quick from outside, but hi, Kent. Hope everything's going good over there. I didn't hear what you said at the beginning because I was getting my food. My food finally arrived, and I went with Chick-fil-A. So I'm going to eat this slowly and see how my stomach takes it. Because I know nachos would have probably ripped my stomach up to shreds. Back to you.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A is always a top flight choice for me too. I'm on a diet right now. I'm on a carnivore diet, so nothing breaded, nothing with a bun. But I'll break that. I'll break that on Fridays. Typically, we'll have pizza or something. But I've lost about 40 pounds or so. So it's going well. I'm eating a lot of meat and getting tired of it. KI5 RBT, back to net.
All right, very good, Kent. Anybody else have anything for KI5RBT?
And 5SMO.
SMO, go ahead.
Yeah, Kent, I just want to say I'm looking forward to some more foxes up on the north side in this part of town, so kudos for that. And 5SMO.
And anybody else want to talk to Kent this evening before we move on? Very good. Well, thanks for checking in, Kent, and good to hear you working on the Fox on your general. And have a good evening. And you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. In the middle of regular check-ins, you don't have to be a club member to check in. If you want to learn more about N50AK, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, go to n50ak.org and check us out on the web. And you can find out information about how to join, repeaters, Discords, all kinds of stuff. And again, you don't have to be a member to check in. Just have to be a licensed amateur radio operator for this frequency. And that brings us to Holly, who I think is W5 Lima, Uniform Lima, but I could be wrong. Holly, how are you doing this evening?
Hi, George. This is W5LUL. That's Lima, Uniform Lima. And I'm doing pretty good. We went to the brunch on Saturday. We had a lot of fun meeting everybody, and we had a good time with that. And then we found out about the Fox. We didn't know about the Fox. So we went home to get our radios, and then Dave busted out an antenna I didn't know he had to put on top of the car, so that was kind of fun. And then we drove almost directly to it, and then walked around in circles for like 2 hours. So, and then he was so frustrated, he went back on Sunday and still didn't find it. So, but we had a good time, we enjoyed it, and thanks for hosting the net.
All right, very good, Ollie. Well, very, very good on the transmitter hunting. Good deal. I have to say that it was funny. The one down south, the AC5G one. This has happened to me multiple times now. So we were driving through that behind the building there, and it was transmitting, and I was going, okay, it's really loud. It's got to be like right here. And so I'm just listening on the mobile radio in the car with the whip. But I stopped, and I said, okay, I'm going to get out and take a heading. And so I got the radio out. I got the radio that's attached to the Yagi out of the back seat, and the Fox had stopped transmitting. And I was like, okay, so I got to find it. And of course, I look over in the grass, and I had stopped right next to it. I'm like, okay, well there it is. I got the radio back now. So it seems like that happens. Has happened multiple times. I've even pulled up. I remember pulling up on one of them and going, okay, I got to get out and look for it. And I look out the window and go, oh, it's right there. Anyway, anybody have anything for Holly this evening? This is K5TR.
BBS.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Holly, it was so funny. Ernesto and I found the Fox, and, like, we were literally talking about y'all. We're just like, I wonder if they went back, because we were just like, yeah, they probably just went home. And as soon as we turned out, we saw y'all in the field, and so we were super surprised. We're like, they went and found it. So we were rooting for you, but, man, you were so close.
Yeah, apparently we were very close, but no cigar. So I'm sorry that it got stolen. I will go down to Kohl's and see if maybe the security picked it up or something. I meant to do it earlier this week, but my son had his wisdom teeth out, and that was a whole ordeal. Back to Ned.
Anybody else have anything for Holly? It reminded me of something else about doing the transmitter hunts. One of the things that's worked really well for me is that usually when I know I'm close, I start looking, and at least half the time I'll find the Fox just by looking around before I find it with the radio. You know, once I know I'm really close, I'll go, okay, I know it's like somewhere really close by, and so I just start looking very carefully at what doesn't fit in the landscape. And it was interesting, the Skies Fox, I actually didn't find I went right where it was with the radio, and then I was looking around trying to find it, and I spotted the box, and I'm like, okay, we found it. And then I was looking at the box, and I'm like, yeah, that's only the log. It's like, where's the Fox? And so then I had to wait for it to transmit again so that and I finally, I was looking all over the place, and finally I spotted it in the tree. It's like, oh, it's in this tree. It's hanging up there. So it was very interesting. So, like, I found the logbook, so it was not as well concealed as the Fox was. All right, Holly, thanks for checking in, and look forward to doing more transmitter hunting. And that brings us to Rusty, WZ5BBS, here on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Rusty, go ahead.
Hey, George, everybody on the net. It's been a busy week, and a kind of productive week as well for radio stuff. Let's see, we've got some fun going on out in Johnson City the weekend of May 19th. We're going to do a fox hunt out there and a lunch out there, and we're going to do Parks on the Air coming up the first part of May at McKinney Falls State Park. Big shout out to Sam, WO5T, or T5, sorry. Sam's going to go out and set up and activate McKinney Falls State Park for us. So if anybody wants to learn how to do Parks on the Air or is curious about that, he has graciously signed up to go out and hang out and teach everybody Parks on the Air. So that's the kind of fun stuff I've been doing for the club. Haven't been on the radio much, and I've been pretty busy at work, so just kind of blah week. But that's what I'm up to. Looking forward to Belton this weekend and hanging out. Back to you, Net Control.
Very good, Rusty. Anybody have anything for WSN5 BBS this evening?
Yeah, 5ZTW, Rusty, what did you say the date of the Parks on the Air was going to be at McKinney Falls?
It is the first Saturday, I believe it is the 6th. Go look in the Parks on the Air channel. The event is there, and it's also in the calendar. So if you go look on the web at the calendar, go look over in May, and it should be the first Saturday on May. But yeah, go check it out there.
Awesome, cool. Gonna try to make that KF5CTW back to net.
Very good. Anybody else have anything for Rusty this evening? Thanks for checking in, Rusty. Good to hear you on the radio. That brings us to KI5NLK Anderson. How are you doing this evening?
Hey George, KI5NLK here. I'm around, just doing the same old stuff. Haven't been doing hardly any radio. I jumped on once or twice and called on the repeater, but that was about the extent of it. My wife's got a big event this week, this weekend, so I've been taking care of that. But just doing the same old thing. It's nice. Everybody else probably got a garden going too, but I got little stuff popping up, little leaves, so it's super exciting. Thanks for running the net here, George.
Hey, Anderson, very good. Good to hear you on the radio. Anybody have anything for Anderson this evening?
BBS?
BBS, go ahead.
Hey, Anderson. Take some photos and put them on the Farmers Market channel, man. I want to see what you're up to in your garden.
Yeah, it's a good point. Sorry, I already forgot about that. I will snap some photos of the little bitty green things, and then we can all watch them as they grow when they turn into hopefully big red tomatoes. Good. Thanks for the advice there, Rusty. Back to you, George.
Anybody else out there have anything for our green-thumbed Anderson? Thanks for checking in. And that brings us to Randy. KC3NAG, how are you doing this evening, Randy? This is K5TR.
Hey there, y'all. Well, I was going to bring up POTA, because it's, pretty cool. And, whenever I, hear somebody, Parks on the Air calling, I'll sit there and wait and, and get them a contact. So, several years later, I actually decided to go to the Parks on the Air website. Oh, my! How amazingly cool. And one of the fun things is you can just be like a hunter for these guys who are, in the parks. And actually accumulate some points, I believe. But the other interesting thing was whoever was in the park, they were the only one that really logs checks, gets their logs checked. Well, they just send their log in, and you don't, you as a person answering the Parks on the Air guy, you don't have to even log him in on QRZ, which I thought was kind of interesting and cool and actually made it easy. Let me let it drop for a sec. Yeah, my back's been hurting me like really bad, so I don't have much to say here. But one other thing I did want to say earlier, speaking of antennas, I'm sure somebody was a long time ago. I'm just a man of like some wire and stuff. But if you want to see some cool antennas, you need to look up George K5TR on QRZ. Yeah. These are what antennas look like. So, with that being said, KC3, NAG, back to net control.
Very good, Randy. Yeah, the POTO website is, if anybody that's made almost any contacts on HF, I recommend you sign on to the POTO website and set up an account, because it is surprising. If you've made a fair number of contacts on EHF, even if you didn't know that you talked to a POTO, you may have talked to one, because they go around and make contacts, and sometimes you don't even know that you've talked to a park on the air. I know that I must have worked a bunch of them in contests over the years, because when I first logged on, I was shocked. It was like, oh my, I've worked a lot of these places. And I've since activated a few, and in fact, in November I activated a park. I operated the sweepstakes contest, CW contest, from a park, and I submitted that log, so almost 1,000 contacts. Anybody that worked me in the contest got that park without knowing that they were working me in a park. But I figured if I'm there, I might as well submit that log, so it was kind of cool. So it is very cool, and you can qualify for all kinds of awards, and you don't really have to do anything other than make contacts on the radio. You don't even have to log them. It's like it works the other way around, which is really nice. And anyway, I hope you start feeling better. Anybody with your back there, Randy? Anybody have any comments for Randy? Come now.
N5SMO.
SMO, go ahead.
Hey, Randy. Just wanted to say hey, and kudos for going after the parks. And the POTO website is really cool, because if you go to your stats, you can see the parks you hunted and the bands and the modes and all that other kind of thing, other kind of info. It's kind of, once you get a bunch under your belt, it's cool to see and see where your successes are. And also, for folks on the club's Slack channel, there is a Parks on the Air channel there on our Slack server. So check that out as well. And that's all I have. Back to the group and K5TR and the rest on the N50AK repeater from N5SMO.
Anybody else have any comments for Randy?
It's probably best to keep them to themselves, KC3 NAG.
Thanks for the comments on the antennas, although I have to say sometimes I feel like I should just take it all down and put up an off-center fed dipole and at 40 feet and be done with it, but I don't know, I have plans to make things even bigger and better. Right now, some of them look very, very sad out there. They're all bent and twisted and things from the ice, or sometimes just out of alignment, but I just look at it and I have a lot of work right now, but I'll get that done and it'll look pretty again, and then I can move forward with some of my other plans of more antennas. Anyway, anybody else have any, let's see, where are we here? Sam, K5JM checked in. I think he said short time, no traffic, but I'm going to see if he's there. Sam, are you still here? He's not. He's gone off to watch Law & Order or something. Anyway, let's see. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. We meet here every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and we talk about ham radio and things. If you have any ham radio topics, questions, things that have been bugging you, anything you want to know about ham radio that we're afraid to ask, this is your chance. And it's a social net. We just get on here and share things, see how everybody's doing. You don't have to be a member to check in, but you're welcome to join our group. Check us out at n5oak.org. And I'm going to stand by again here for some more regular check-ins, see if there's anybody who's out there joining us this evening as it's getting later. So if you want to check into the net, you don't have to be a member or anything else, just have to be a licensed ham radio operator. Come with your call sign and your name. I'm standing by.
This is AI5JT. This is Rick.
All right, AI5JT, Rick, I was wondering if you were going to do a formal check-in with us here. Thanks for doing the questions and the news. And how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I'm trying to figure out an excuse to get Rusty to go up to Belton Friday night so that he has to do the trivia from the parking lot in Belton. Back to now.
I guess you didn't bait him into that. He's done it remote before. I'm sure it's can be a bit of a challenge, but it worked out pretty well, at least the one time that I was around. Anyway, Rick, thanks for checking in. Anybody have any comments for Rick this evening?
W5LUL.
LUL, go ahead.
Hey, Rick, I was just wondering if you and your daughter found the fox.
We did not. We wandered around the field, and like some other folks, we came back with a bunch of mud. We tried driving around the other side of the tracks, but couldn't get any closer. We didn't think to go to the like a little trailhead back over there. I didn't think to approach it from that angle. Back to you.
Yeah, that's cool. We didn't find it either. We went and after we saw y'all there, we also went and drove around and tried to see if we could get to it from the other side, and it was the golf course. And then I was like, they didn't put it on the golf course, did they? And then we came back and looked for it again. So we had fun, but we didn't find it either. And it was really nice meeting you and your daughter.
Yeah, the pie company, that was a lot of fun. We enjoyed that, especially the pie. The company as well. Thank you. Back to that.
Sounds like the pie company was a big success. Sorry I missed that. Is there anybody else that has any comments for Rick this evening?
BBS?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it was great getting to hang out with you and your daughter. She's a super sweetheart, man. Like, you got a good kid. And it was fun getting to chat with her and just, see what's going on in the inside of a 25-year-old. It's always fun just to see what they're up to. But thanks for coming to hang out with us. And, we haven't known each other long, but we've eaten a lot of breakfast together already. So as far as, top number of people I've eaten breakfast with. You're at the top, man. You're at the top as far as people in my life. So have a good week. WZ5BBS.
Thanks, Rusty. It's getting close to my bedtime. We'll turn this back over to Net and let folks get to bed soon. Back to Net.
All right, Rick, very good. Well, thanks for checking in this evening. Thanks for doing the questions and the news. I look forward to hearing you again. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net, and on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and the University Link repeater system, and probably some others I don't know about. But if you go to our website, n50ak.org, you can see what all things are hooked up on the All-Star and see what's coming in from where. And if you'd like to join us this evening, I'm going to stand by for regular check-ins again. Anybody else who would like to check in with us this evening, come with your call sign and your name.
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Alpha Golf Hotel, Tony in South Austin.
All right, anybody else want to join us for the net this evening? Come with your call sign and your name. Don't be shy. Push that mic button. All right, Tony, KJ5AGH, Alpha Golf Hotel. Nice to meet you, and welcome to Ham Radio. Go ahead. How are you doing this evening?
Doing pretty good. A little late to the party here, but I heard you guys were still on. I was listening off and on, but I was doing some other stuff this evening. But yeah, I made it down to the Texas Pie Company on Saturday. Had some good food there and some good company there. That was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we had some other plans that afternoon, so we weren't able to go fox hunting, but I'm sure there will be more fox hunting. Sorry to hear that one of them went missing. Also, on Saturday, let me pause. On Saturday, I plan on going to Belton. I don't know what to expect there, but I'm going up there early. I don't know if I'll make the breakfast or not. And I also have plans to get my general that afternoon at 2 o'clock in downtown Austin. So I'm going to head back down and go take my general that I'm pretty studied up for. So I feel pretty confident with that one. But I had some questions for anybody else on here about 10 meter. I understand that 10 meters has just been going off lately, and I have a multi-band fan dipole that I put in my attic. I've told some people on here about, and it works great for 20, 30, and 40 meter, but I'm not getting anything at all on 10 meter, and I don't know if there's maybe a better antenna, something small and quick I can throw up, or something that somebody might know why mine is failing on 10 meter.
Okay. Well, I'm tempted to answer this. I don't know if anybody else wants to jump in first.
N5SMO.
SMO, go ahead.
Hey, one of the easiest antennas that works very well for 10 meters is just the dipole. And, the whole thing end to end is only about 16 feet long for 10 meters. And it's pretty easy to find some place to string it up. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It doesn't have to be perfectly level. One end can sag, You can do it at sort of an inverted V, and if you adjust the length of the legs a tad to make it resonant in that configuration. But it's a real good antenna for 10 meters, and you'd be surprised with what you could do with a piece of wire and a piece of coax. That's it, N5SMO.
Yeah, I'll echo those comments, and obviously, if you could get something outside, that would be even better than inside. But you could just add some 10-meter wires to your fan dipole, and that would probably improve things as far as a match and just efficiency. But if you're not hearing anything on 10 meters, I mean, you should be able to hear things with whatever, with a piece of wire. It doesn't usually take much. So really my question would be, when are you listening, and where are you listening, and kind of what are you trying to do that on 10 meters? What have you done so far that gets you to where you don't ever hear anything?
So that fan dipole does have 10-meter wires on it, but when I'm listening on the 10-meter band from 28,000, is it 1,000? I'm sorry, I'm new at this. 28 megahertz to all the way up to almost 30. I just don't hear anything at all. Like, it's just hits. I don't get anything. Period. Like, not even anything distant. Nothing. I'm listening on upper sideband, so I'm not getting anything at all. So I was hoping to throw up some kind of like cheap 10-meter specific solution just to see what the problem could be. I don't think it's anything with the radio, because everything works fine on all of the other bands. Well, the ones that it works for, 20, 30, and 40, but I just get nothing on 10.
N5 LX.
And what time of day are you listening?
I've tried early morning. I understand that morning is the best for that band, and I've tried also, later in the afternoon. I know that like 20 works excellent in the afternoon, like when the sun's going down. That kind of time. But I've listened all throughout the day on 10 meter. I've been messing around with it for the last like week or two, and I've just gotten nowhere with it.
Okay, very good. Well, I can give you a couple of things to do. First of all, unless there's a contest or unless the band's really open and it's full of signals, you probably won't hear much above. There's almost no reason to go above 28,550, 28,600. Unless all the frequencies below are kind of full, there just won't be much up there until you get to like where the FM repeaters are. There are a bunch of CW. So one of the problems with the amateur radio bands these days is that there are times when there's just not a lot of people on sideband, especially during the week on sideband or CW even. But 10 meters is interesting because there's a couple of things you can do. One of them is there's a bunch of CW beacons. So there's a bunch of beacons sending Morse code between 28,200 and 28,300. And so you can listen for those. So if you hear any of those, even if you can't copy them, you'll know they're signals. There's also there's a beacon system actually on all the bands that's run by the Northern California DX Foundation. And these beacons rotate through all the bands, and they're all over the world. There's one in New York City at the UN building, and there's one in California, and then in various countries around the world. And so if you look up Northern California DX Foundation, NCDXF beacons, you can get the schedule, and they all happen on one frequency. And I think on 10 meters it might be 28,150, or 28,200. I can't remember. Like on 20 meters or on 14,100, but you can look that up. And then the cool thing about that is you can park the radio on that frequency, and as they cycle through, you may hear one of them. And because they transmit on a regular schedule, even if you can't copy the Morse code, you can see what time it is, and you can go, and in fact on their website it shows which beacon is transmitting at that moment. And so you can go, that's the beacon in Argentina or whatever. Then the other thing you can do is if you go to the FT8 frequency on 10 meters, pretty much anytime the band is open at all, there's signals on the FT8 frequency. So if you go to 28074 and just listen there, and if you hear digital noise there, basically a bunch of tones, then you know that your radio and antenna is actually picking up signals from somewhere. And of course, you can hook up the computer and decode the FT8 signals. But all of those things. And I did hear a Sky in there. N5LX, go ahead.
Thanks. This is N5LX. Those are good. That's good stuff that you're giving him. Really good ideas. I was just going to throw that I also have a fan dipole that's 3 bands. It's 10, 15, and 20. And I thought I'd just share real quickly with you, what you can expect if it's working right. Mine works, it's in the attic. I don't have radiant barriers, so it works okay. It's not quite high enough. It's like 25 feet or something. It should be higher to work better, like on 20 meters. But all 3 of the bands, the performance of that antenna it's about the same. But I have an IC7300. I have to tune it first. And so if I switch bands, after I tune it, I can definitely hear the receiver noise come up. Like if I've been working 20 meters and then I switch to 10 meters, if I tune it, I'll hear the noise like bump up to where it's like maybe 2 S units higher. So that's kind of what you can expect. I mean, it should work. Maybe there's something wrong. Maybe one of us could come over with a nano VNA or something. You could look at it. But, I guess what I'm saying basically is it should work. So maybe hopefully you can figure it out. This is N5LX, back to net.
Yeah, thanks. I've tried the beacons. I've looked those up on the internet, and I've tried the 28200. I haven't heard anything there. Also, there's some just below that all over the world, like 28190-ish. There's a few in there, and I wasn't able to hear anything at all. So I think there's definitely something wrong. I've looked at the antenna, and everything's wired together. I mean, it's really simple. There's nothing broken or anything on those wires. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'll keep playing with it. I don't want to, hold everybody up and keep talking about this for a long time. But and if anybody was ever around and wanted to come take a look at it that knows what they're doing, that'd be cool too.
I mean, this is exactly why we're here. So no need to apologize for wanting to talk about this. So, as far as, my take on it is that if you can hear stuff on 20 meters with a piece of wire, you should be able to hear stuff on any of the bands with some wire, provided they're signals. Now, I confess I haven't been on lately, so I don't know. As we get into the summer, as we get into May and June, 10 meter F2 propagation may not be quite as numerous or good as it's been to Europe and stuff, but there'll be E-skip, so that makes up for it. So there's a different kind of propagation, but there still should be signals. The solar flux is high enough that I suspect we'll have good signals on 10 meters all the time as we go into the summertime. But pretty much any time during the day after sunrise, and then even well into the night. So it'll stay open. It won't be necessarily open before sunrise, but it will stay open later, well after sunset. So like even this time of day, there could be signals on 10 meters coming from the South Pacific because the ionization that builds up during the daytime takes a while to dissipate over our heads, even though it's gotten dark. So the bands will stay good, especially with as much solar activity as we have. But I think I tuned the band today briefly, and I did hear. No, that was a different band. Never mind. No, I did listen briefly on 10 today, and I heard something, but not much. It was very weak. And then then somebody was playing a recording of something they were listening to on 10 today. But anyway, I'm sure that you'll hear signals. If you wanted to try a different antenna, N5SMO is correct. A 10-meter dipole is really easy to build. I mean, obviously you know how to build a dipole, and you could string a different antenna up somewhere, and it doesn't, you know, as you probably know, it doesn't have to be flat. You can hang it as a vertical from a tree or from the wall or, you know, from the back deck or whatever, you know, temporarily to just get something to compare with. So I certainly would suggest that. But like I said, I would expect that if you hear signals on one antenna, you should hear them on the same piece of wire. That's not that discriminatory. Even if you disconnect the 10-meter wires, you should still hear signals on 10 meters. Anyway, I wish you luck with that, and keep the questions coming. KJ5AGH and the net K5TR. Does anybody else have any comments?
K5PZN.
PZN, go ahead.
Hey, Tony. Just wanted to say on the 10-meter, I haven't been a ham for that long, only a couple of years, but I spent quite a bit of time on 10 meters. The bulk of the traffic that you will find, and that's usually where I stay, is between 28.300 and 28.500. I know once you get your general, you can go over 500 and maybe, you know, maybe like George was saying, maybe 500, but usually the big bulk is between, you know, the 300 and the 500. If there's nothing happening there, there's, you know, you can switch to a different band. Let me let it reset real quick. And I guess I need to keep the PTT button pressed. Also wanted to say it was really nice to see you guys and meet Suzanne and Anthony at the Pi Company. Looking forward to seeing you guys more often. That was it. This is KI5PZN BACnet.
Ernesto, anybody else have any comments? And obviously this weekend, if you get on the band during the weekend, there may be more activity. You weren't around earlier, I don't think. I mentioned there's a bunch of HF contests this weekend, so they may produce a little more activity of people calling CQ and see what's going on. And like I said, that alpha delta antenna should work just fine on 10 meters. Like I said, a piece of wire should pick up signal. Anyway, Tony, do you have anything else, or anybody else have any other comments for Tony before we move on here?
I don't have anything else. Thanks for the help, guys. KJ5AGH.
Very good. KJ5 Alpha Golf Hotel, K5TR. All right, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. And we're coming up to the top of the hour here. We meet here every Thursday night starting at 8 o'clock. And we're looking forward to you joining us if you want to join us. We also have, before this net for 30 minutes at 7:30, we have a CW net that meets on 80 meters, and all amateur radio operators can join us there, even if you're a technician. And if you have to use the computer to send and receive a CW, we don't care. You can come join us. And if you only know enough code to send your call sign, that's fine too. Don't be afraid. And let's see. I'm gonna see if we have any more check-ins here and see how we're going. If you would like to check into the net, you don't have to be a member of the club. Just looking for licensed amateur radio operators. Come with your call sign and your name. All right, well, that sounds like that might do it for the evening. I appreciate everybody checking in with the net, and Rusty with all the news and announcements, and Rick, and you guys have all the fun at Belton this weekend, and look forward to hearing you on the radio in the near future. Thanks for checking into the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Check us out on the web if you haven't, and join our Discord and join the club. And look forward to working again. I'm going to return this frequency to regular amateur traffic. This is K5TR73.
K5TR, thank you so much for hosting tonight, Net Control. AI5JT, clear.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, George. We'll see you at the meeting. WZ5BBS.
You bet. You keep telling them I'm going to talk about everything. I don't know what that means, but we'll see.
I have no idea either, man. I make this stuff as I go, so we'll figure it out on Saturday, and I'm sure you'll have an answer. How can we? We'll leave it at that. Like, that's how much faith I have. So I'm good. Like, I got no worries. You'll have an answer for everything. I promise.
I got answers, and they may not match up with the questions, but I got answers.
The answer is E.
No, the answer is the white wire.
LOL. KC3NAG.
What's going on, Randy?
My back hurts like horribly bad, and I'm sure somehow it's all your fault, but probably not. But hey, thanks for the little shout out for I think it was Tom that I sent down to y'all's Den of Terror. It's like, hey, these dudes, like this Court channel, jump on there, man. Have a nice day. So thanks for the shout out, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. It's good that you're keeping your ears open and sending us people. And yeah, he called you out by name. How did you find out about the club? And he said, oh, it was Randy, KC3NAG. So got to send out the props because, I never know when you're lurking, but I know you're out there lurking. So, it never hurts to throw it out there. But yeah, man, thanks for the new guy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I'm out there lurking and being a good ambassador for the and 3OK. What's the club call sign now? Anyway, yeah. I don't know. Cool dude, and I'm like, yeah, man, this is where you need to go. Simple as that.
So how long you been having back troubles? Is this something new, or has this been a couple of days now?
Well, it started at work when I was like about 41 or something, and resurfaced due to, I don't know, some kind of incident or something, but it's pretty immobilizing.
Right on, man. Well, that's a bummer, but hopefully things are getting better for you. So, I'm guessing, yeah, no, I keep asking if you want to come to Belton, but you go to bed about the time we would be there, so there's no way you're going to Belton.
Yeah, well, amazingly so, but I've actually been to Belton twice, so yeah, I know the drill. And personally, I could buy anything online that I can buy at Belton, so why make the trip other than to see lots of flat land?
Yeah, I totally get that. I don't need anything from Belton. I think the one time that I did go to Belton, I was looking for maybe like some, slightly loved radios at a decent price, and really what I found was a bunch of like really old stuff or brand new in the box, and there didn't seem to be the old State Fair discount, so like, I don't know, I don't know that it was weird or maybe my expectations were wrong, but yeah, I never go really looking for anything. And that's also how I ended up with a tower light, because I didn't know that I needed a tower light until I saw it, and the price was right. So, you gotta leave those possibilities open, because you never know.
Yeah, I get you on the stock of radios. I understand, like, back years ago. I was up there way before COVID, and but yeah, it used to be like some stuff, but I don't think there's so much. I think it's the good stuff just gets sold online. But for anybody who's never gone, you definitely have to go. Okay. Don't let me bum you out just because my back hurts. Belton's very cool. There's a lot of exhibitors there. If you want coax, you want to go see the Wireman. There's lots of interesting things, new or old. There's all kinds of tons of connectors, and hey, maybe you need a new badge or something. Like, it's all there. So, like, yeah, let me pump it back up here. KC3 NAG, back to you, man.
Oh, you have to totally go, even if garage sailing or pawn shopping, like, if those aren't high on your register, then, you might not connect, but you definitely, you have to go once. You have to go see what it's all about, because maybe it'll break down some things when you see all the different connectors and all the different stuff, and I don't know, like, you definitely know, you have to go, and it's the biggest one around, unless you go to, like, Houston, so this is as close as it gets. They've got one in San Antonio, but I don't think it's nearly as big, so that's, I go to hang out and kind of burn the day, although it is early, man, it is early.
Yeah, I think it's taken 2 years off my life, the 2 times I've gotten up in the morning and rode up there with somebody and whatnot. But back to something else that's actually very important too, is actually meeting people. Meeting the people. Like, I met Ray up there, first, and hey, Ray had 2 tower lights, so I gotta assume he probably sold you one of those. You know what a mastermind he is. But seriously, meeting people and seeing Ray there for the first time, it starts to form a connection, then into the rest of the club and guys and whatnot. So there's that aspect to it. Also, the same way that field day is. Although that's kind of different, but you get to meet people. So, like, if you don't get out, you don't know, man. Like, it's a good experience. And if you can't get out, having a ham radio it's a good experience to talk around the country with all kinds of people. So, hey man, you know, whatever cheeses your cake. Oh my God, cheesecake would taste so good right now.
So I was totally the mastermind for the tower lights. I went in and saw them and was just like, I have to have this. And I remember carrying mine out to Ray's RV. I was like, this was the first time this is the first Belton. So we hadn't really hung out a whole lot together, and so as I was walking down there, I'm like, these people are either going to love this or they're going to make fun of me. And I'm okay with either one, but it's going to let me know real quick where we go. And as I brought it in, I set it down, Ray was like, oh my God, where did you get that? And I'm like, we've got one more. And so he's like, go get it. So he sent me in there. I went and paid for it and brought it out, and we both had lights. So that's funny. I didn't realize that y'all had met there that time.
Well, you know, the more I think about it, I'm quite sure I met you there right at that same time with Ray, with those two lights sitting beside the camper. He introduced me to somebody, and I actually had a friend with me who, you know, blah, 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 blah. I guarantee that actually would have to be you. Oh, my goodness. The tower lights bring ones together.
Right, and it's bringing everybody together. That's what makes us close. Because before I met you, or before I thought I met you, I just kind of thought you were crazy. And then I met you, and I'm just like, sweet, he's totally crazy. And so, like nothing changes, like everything's great. But no, man, it's been an interesting, like on the repeaters, per se. For me, it's been interesting to see all the people that you get to talk to that are out there that are listening, and it takes them a while to come around, but when they come around, it's a lot of fun. So it's been fun to sit here and monitor the repeaters and talk to people.
Yeah, man, and try not to hold it too much longer in case there is somebody who wants to use the repeater. But speaking of repeaters, I've been meaning to email you about the Florence repeater. There's tremendous wide coverage up there. I talked to the guy 3 years ago. He's try to break it. There's not a lot of people on because it's up an area that's very wide open, but the wide open coverage is phenomenal, and it may or may not be interesting for y'all to look at tying into that to see what you might bring out of the Northlands. And, TriviaNet or just anything, because nobody uses it, and it's a killer machine, man.
Well, man, I'm all ears. I have heard tale of that repeater, and I think I can hit it from my house. I think Ray can hit it from his house. No, it's got a huge. Well, all right. So do this. Go find us the guy that owns it. Go talk to him and see what they are. And if they want to link up and have All-Star, or if they want to talk about it, go get us connected to the dude that owns the repeater, man.
Yeah, it just sounds like you just pawn your job off to me, Rusty. But seriously, if you want me to go do that, I have no problem, because the guy who owns it, I think, would really appreciate it being used. You know, I mean, I'll go find out, man. Okay? You want me to do that? Say yes or no.
I would never pawn anything off on you. You're my trusted advisor. You know, you're people that I can count on and rely on. And I think if you've already talked to this guy and you know the guy that owns it, you know, go give him that Randalicious charm and go see if the KC3 NAG can't go find us another repeater. I'm always down. I mean, I think it would be fun, especially if nothing's going on it.
Well, you know what? Okay, I'll do that, because I've always tried to promote this. Nobody uses it. Yeah, no, you can hit it, and I think Ray's hit it. But, you know, we can talk to our little yellow liver spots buddy up there, like, so easily onto it. I mean, I've talked to him. But I've talked to guys, like, way far to the east, you know, up there and to the west. So, yeah, okay. Enough said. Back to you.
Well, now that I know Cody would be able to get into the system over RF, this is a terrible idea. This is a bad plan, so just abort.
Go ahead.
What repeater are you talking about?
This is KC3 NAG. That would be the Florence repeater. Yeah, the 380.
What, 147.38?
That's correct.
Okay, I was just curious. And then I realized that I'm not hooked up to an outdoor antenna at the moment, so I can't go check it out. I'm sure that I can get into that from here.
Well, check it out, man. Like, if you're up near, you know, Anderson Mills, Cedar Park, you can bang that like super easy.
Anyway, K5TR.
WZ5BBS. So, Randy, did you do anything for Easter, or were you laid up?
Yeah, I've been like completely laid up. I've actually been laid up since the end of January. But that's another story. Yeah, for my birthday, which was, I think, Monday, I got a new dishwasher installed for my mom, so that was cool. And I didn't have to do it.
Well, I mean, you need a supervisor. So, do you supervise? Does the new dishwasher do what it says it's supposed to do and work as stated?
I don't know. You'll have to ask my mom. I can't bend over to load the plates in the bottom. And she's 88. She can do it well.
Well, Well, man, you should have got like a top-load dishwasher or something. You know, that way it was just like counter level. That way you could do the dishes.
Yeah, well, my mom spent, I found this guy several $100s to cut about a half inch of her granite or whatever countertop off to get her new glass stove top in that would not fit. So, I don't know, yeah, supervising, I actually know something about that.
Yeah, I never quite realized all the voodoo that went into hanging cabinets, like in the kitchen. I was living with a friend of mine, and the house, like, we just redid all the cabinets, and the guys came over to put them up, and, you know, you just think, yeah, you just nail it to the wall, and it's like, nah, that's the farthest thing. That's eventually what happens, but there's a whole lot of things that happen in between then and now. So it was interesting the first time I got to watch that go down.
Yeah, man, I've done that. Like, I used to build houses when I was like much younger, and and there's nothing worse than like drywall's all up and counters, you're putting the overhead cabinets up and whatnot, and you realize, like, this whole ceiling slopes, like, a couple inches, and it's like, who built this? I mean, it was not a house that we built, okay? It was something we were in there finishing up, and it's like, and what do you do now? And I'm like, go to the store, get about a 6-inch wide board that we will jam up to the ceiling and kind of gauge it down so it looks like it's level with the cabinets, and a little caulk, a little paint. Hey, you can do miracles, man.
Oh, dude, little caulk and little paint goes a long ways. I mean, true words can't be spoken. WZ5VBS.
Well, so for all your listeners out there, this company I was working for, we did like, pre-built homes, factory-built homes, and the company we worked for, stuff was like straight on perfect. But we would get calls from some of the owners of the other companies. Mind you, we covered like 3 or 4 counties, It's like, there was a problem with this Superior home here. Can y'all come over and like fix this? And it's like, yeah, okay. Because like the roof line don't match. So my buddy and I would go over with like long lengths of rope and chain and come-alongs and literally pull from one end of the roof to the other to get the roof lines to line up and then nail it closed. Yeah, I've seen some very bad stuff.
Yeah, I forget there was one builder in Texas that they got fined pretty bad because they would go and put all the rebar and do all the stuff, and the people would come out and they'd get all the permits, and then once they disappeared, they'd pull out like half the rebar, and they were doing some not so fun stuff, and after about a year, your house started to fall apart, and it got ugly there for a little bit. I forget the name of the company.
Oh, man, that is crazy land. When you were, you know what, rebar doesn't cost anything. Concrete costs something. The best thing you can do, like, if the truck's running short and there's only a little bit left, get some rocks and put it in the concrete to build up like another yard or two. I mean, do not pull the rebar out, man. Like, you know, when I work for these guys, like, I go to the office, boss gives me a plot plan, he goes, you gotta drive up here. I'm like, oh my God. And I'd go out and lay out where the house was, call back in, it's like, oh, send me a backhoe, oh, send me a front end loader, oh, send me this, oh, send me some rebar, oh, send me a crew, let's pour concrete, and do it right up until it was all done. And when the customer finally did their final walkthrough, we always left a few things. You know, there'd be like a missing switch plate, or gee, how come this little corner didn't get painted? You know, leave about 10 things obvious that you could like take care of in like an hour. The walkthrough's done. The mortgage papers are signed. Bingo, you get paid.
So how many houses do you think you have built from scratch in your lifetime?
Well, that's kind of a odd question. I also did steel work for like, you know, 2-story commercial, like strip mall, catalog stores, restaurants and stuff like that. So, you know, but I had an opportunity one time to be the head sawyer in my friend's sawmill, who made, you know, double tongue and groove, beautiful profiled cabin logs, and you know, I was able to run all my stuff through there on my time while we were running the customer stuff through, and yes, I know how to like plumb, and I've buried electric and all those fun things. So I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, that's fair. I grew up in the country, so we just kind of learned how to fix it, because if we didn't, it was just going to get worse. So I always messed with power with the breaker on, because why not? It makes you a better electrician. If you don't get shocked and the breaker is still on, then you are a master electrician. That was the way I looked at it, and I got really good. So you learn that, you learn plumbing, you know, kind of a little bit about everything, and just kind of make a go of it. So it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, man. Like, I grew up in the country, and I've always like moved around and had like 13 acres or 50 acres or something, and you know, nearest hardware stores like 10 miles down a steep hill, or you know, 20 miles away or something. And you go to the store, it's like you don't buy one 1/2-inch PVC elbow and one connector. You buy a 20-pack and another can of glue and whatever else is on the shelves, because you know what? You're gonna need it, man. Oh, buy some more sticks of PVC. And my wife's like, why, I'm like, okay, next time I need something, I'm going to send you to the hardware store. What do you want to do?
There you go. You just throw down the gauntlet. It's either the PVC or me. That's just how this works. So
truth be known, the sad ending is she drove me so crazy. I gave her the house, and she actually kept taking all my tools, trying to beg me back, right down to a real nice Black & Decker belt sander, which is worth like a couple $100 in like mid-80s, okay? And she's like, well, I'm keeping the belt sander. And I'm like, wow, you're not even like doing anything. She goes, because I bought it. And I'm like, I sent you to the store to buy the belt sander with our money. I mean, and I just looked and laughed at her. It's like, hey, keep the belt sander, because I'm just trying to get away from you, girl. Take whatever you want.
It's interesting what becomes important in our lives. It's always bizarre, but yeah, the belt sander. Maybe she will stumble upon it and chap her ass with it and think of you and the belt sander. Maybe that'll play out. What do you bet?
Well, the truth is, karma has taken its hold of her. So, it is what it is. I don't care. It's like, hey, I can change my life. I have skills. I can go do whatever I want. Have a nice day.
Amen. And I think I'm gonna follow on that note and go do what I want. I got some stuff to do before bed, and that includes watching some TV. So I think I am gonna bounce, man. But it's been good hanging out with you, and hopefully your week will get better. And we'll see you on the repeater. KC3NAGWZ5BBS. You got anything before I go to bed?
WZ5BBS. Sweet dreams, my friend. KC3NAG. Yeah, I've been meaning to chat with you, but you've been so busy and on the road or whatever. So yeah, howdy. Catch you later, man. And I will look into the Florence repeater as per your request. KC3NAG.
Yeah, man, go dig up some dirt. Go see what skeletons lay up in the Florence repeater land, and see what you can come up with. And we'll see. It never hurts to ask, right? I mean, worst he can say is no. So we'll see. But yeah, man, I'll be back on later on, and we can have a better conversation. But I'm gonna be out. So WZ5BBS, not y'all.
Yeah, KC3NAG pretty much gone.
KF5CCM from WB5TXW, over.